Sunday. Yeah, boys, been a little under the weather, so we haven't been going live this week. But it's NFL Sunday. You know, we're going to get the picks in, some fantasy football advice in. Nice little quick, little easy, light work show. Little pregame show. Wanted to make sure my picks got out there. Dude with the beard has already made his picks. The video is already out there. Make sure you check it out. Uh, all you got to do is hit the channel. You know how it is. So to start out, week 3, we did have the Jets absolutely destroy the Patriots, as we could clearly see coming. Like the amount of difference in talent level, quarterback for the Jets versus Patriots is just too much to overcome, if we're going to be completely honest. Next on the list, we have the Giants going to the Cleveland Browns, where the Cleveland Browns will win. They will destroy the New York Giants. Next on the list, we have the Eagles versus the Saints. This one should be interesting. This should be real interesting. I'm going to go with the Saints here. Definitely preseason did not go that direction, but the Saints are showing they can have a dominant type team. Like they're too much to get past at this point. If we're going to be completely honest, that offensive line for the Saints have made me become believers. Next on the list is the Texans versus the Vikings. The Vikings somehow, some way have a possibility of winning this game. I'm still going to ride with the Texans. I think they're bad dudes, but man, the Vikings could absolutely win this game. It is in Minnesota. The Vikings have been firing on all cylinders, let's be honest. Sam Darnold looking like he's not playing for the Jets. How about that? Look, it developed, started turning around. Nice to see from the young quarterback. Next is the Broncos versus the Buccaneers. You know your boys got the Buccaneers in that one. Bo Picks will throw another interception today. Well, it'd be a question if he throws his first touchdown. Yeah, we might be getting close to, I know we're at least at 2 picks. We might be at like 3 before his first touchdown pass of his NFL career. Next on the list, we have the Packers versus the Titans. I think the Titans win this game. The Titans have a killer secondary, and the Packers just have run as their only opportunity. If Will Levis can just put anything somewhat together, you'll see the Titans win this game. Next on the list, we have the Bears versus the Colts. I'm going to go with the Bears. I think old Caleb Williams gets his first little dip here. We're going to have a little panic situation down in Indy, even though, Anthony Richardson gives you some highlights, but I think the NFL finally gives the young darling his first little W, maybe even his first touchdown pass. Chargers versus Steelers. Let's go Steelers. Let's go Pittsburgh. Let's get it. Fuck this. Excuse my French. Let's not count on the Chargers for nothing. We have the Dolphins versus the Seahawks in Seattle. Give me Seattle. Without Tua, this Dolphins team is in a lot of trouble. They're in deep doo-doo. If you do not have a quarterback, all of these weapons are useless. Tyreek Hill cannot throw to himself. Panthers versus Raiders. Let's go Raiders here. Panthers are proven to be the worst team in the NFL, even though they are moving on from Bryce Young. You are seeing Andy Dalton, so you get a legitimate quarterback veteran that knows what he's doing. Unfortunately, he's got to try to do it against the Raiders and their killer defensive line. Shout out to SP Monkey for pop it in the comments. First comment of the day. Hi back to you. Shout out to you to be numero uno. 49ers versus Rams. This one's actually real tough to predict. Both teams have tons of guys missing. The list of guys missing is more than the guys that are going to be on the field that you know, like from head to toe. Let me go 49ers just because they have more depth. They can afford to lose more high-end talent. But this is a close one. That's a close one. Lions versus Cardinals. Let's go. Man, the Cardinals really could win this game. This is crazy. This is crazy. I've got to think about it. Are we going to go Cardinals upset? Cardinals upset would be crazy. I'm going to go Lions. I'm going to stick with the Lions, but I'm going to put an asterisk next to that one. I'm going to look up the betting lines and see where we're at. See where we are at. Ravens versus Cowboys. Let's go. Let's go Cowboys. Let's go Cowboys. Look, Lamar Jackson has never lost 3 in a row, and this might be the most talented team he's ever been on. But I think they might do it. It's going to cause a lot of waves into the atmosphere out there. Sunday Night Football. We got Kansas City Chiefs versus the Falcons. Atlanta's calling this the biggest game in their history. This is it. This is the biggest one since the last Super Bowl for the Atlanta Falcons. And you know we're going Kansas City Chiefs. Look, the Kansas City Chiefs might run it up on them. And this is how you quiet all that refs shenanigans. You're going to see the best effort out of the Falcons, but I think that still comes out far, far short of what the Kansas City Chiefs are about to do to this team. Next, we have the Jaguars at the Bills. Jags need to win it Monday night. They need that dub. Let's go Jags. And let's go Commanders with an upset over the Bengals. Over the Bengals. I can't believe we're doing that. But it just feels right. It just absolutely feels right. Like it is just a night and day difference here. It is pretty wild to see. And let's look up the NFL betting odds and see anything that we want to, anything big that we want to note. What is going to be the upsets of the week? Let's figure those out. Let's get that in. What games are y'all looking forward to? Which one's sticking out to you? What early game are we watching? A lot of these are garbage. I like that Philly-New Orleans game. And maybe that Chargers-Pittsburgh game. Those are going to be your 2 games to watch early. Later on, the Dallas-Baltimore game is going to be good. And the Lions-Cardinals game. Those are going to be the 2 early games you're going to want to watch. I might even just watch those instead of Red Zone, to be honest with you. Standing out there. Now, low odds to win. New York Giants. My co-host, Dude with a Beard, did pick the Giants. Anytime less than 10% of the public is betting one way, we take a notice. We want to see it. Who you starting? David Singletary, J.K. Dobbins, or David Montgomery? Probably J.K. Dobbins at this point. It's a pretty good little trio of running backs to choose from. I like your depth there. But man, J.K. Dobbins has been doing it, bro. And you're talking about a team that's really relying on that run, and they're going to need it today against Pittsburgh. Like, and this is another team you could run on. Like, let's get it. Jalen Hurts. What about Jalen Hurts? That'd be an interesting one. That'll be a fun one. Yeah, but those are good trio of running backs. But I feel like J.K. Dobbins should be the clear-cut guy at this point. Should have an off week eventually. The betting public is pretty much split on Tennessee versus Green Bay. A lot of faithful in that Green Bay team. Without Jordan Love, I don't like it. Was offered T. Higgins and Javonte for Shaheed and Dowd. Lost Pacheco and have Archin, Warren, and Chuba. I'm guessing Chubbs is who you're thinking. JK plays against Steelers, though, and they probably don't have Justin Herbert. Figured Montgomery would be a safe play. I mean, it is safe, but that's just you're leaning on reasons why he's going to get more touches. And he's been real nice with them. Like, it's just, I don't know. And I'm not that afraid of the Pittsburgh Steelers. They are doing decent, right? And that defense is part of it. But it's right there with me. Yeah, the Eagles really could get beat by the Saints. It really could. Let's see what the betting public is calling that. They're only giving it 30% to the Eagles. 69% of the public is actually betting the Saints. So that's real interesting to see. And the Saints, I believe, are favored in that game as well. So, I mean, people are kind of saying they could be the Saints. T. Higgins, and I mean, T. Higgins is nice when he's healthy and on the field. Dowd or Spears. I got to double check the matchups. That's a coin flip to me, bro. Like, let's bust out a coin. That is a close one. That is a close one. Heads, tails. That's what we're relying on. Heads. Dowd. I can't pronounce his name very well, but that's what the coin said. That's what we're gonna roll with. It's good. Man, I'm liking y'all's deaths. How y'all doing in your league so far? Y'all winning? We got some dubs on the board. I mean, you got that. I mean, with JK, let's look at it. Montgomery or JK Dobbins. I mean, my problem is I'm just when you got such a hot hand, man. When you have such a hot hand with J.K. Dobbins, it's hard to go away from it. And we do have 70% of the public betting Pittsburgh. I mean, you could call it a rough day. But Jim Harbaugh is going to rely on him, man. I don't know. I think he gets extra touches. Full PPR, redraft. Grade my trade. I sent Worthy, McBride, and Kamara. Oof. I received Olave, Mark Andrews, and James Cook. I'm 0-2 and needed a wide receiver upgrade. Bad and likely so nice to have tight end insurance. That was a bad trade, bud. That was a bad trade. That was a rough one. That's a tough one, man. I don't like that trade. I don't like that one. I didn't like it. I don't like that one very much. I mean, the tight end insurance is nice. And look, having a tight end, what tight end did you have before that? And if you were rough at the tight end position, you should have looked for Likely in the little free agent for one first week. But I mean, tight end is nice because I do preach the tight end and running back can win your league. There's the least amount of elite tight ends and running backs. So you can find legit wide receivers everywhere, right? But I don't know about that one. I'm not a huge fan of that one. And it was tough. I'm guessing you did that preseason, so it does give you there. Jordan Mason or Saquon Barkley? I'm going Saquon Barkley. They're gonna have to have him be successful tonight to do it. Olave is a fat upgrade over Worthy. Andrews is slightly worse than McBride, and Cook and Kamara is even. I have Likely on my bench, so getting Andrews was nice. Tight end, Ravens stacked. Yeah, but the problem with stacking tight ends with one particular team is when that bye week hits. You better hope that's not an important bye week because all of a sudden you're real short at tight end. And calling Olave a fat upgrade over Worthy is questionable because you know that Pat Mahomes is going to continue relying on Worthy to be successful. Like, you're going to need it. I mean, it is a big upgrade. Like, don't get that mistaken. But you're talking about a guy that's still going to put up like points theoretically, right? So, and Kamara Cook being even-ish is kind of trying to justify the Cook trade because I don't have I can pull up the numbers in front of me, but I highly doubt if that's what we would call a even trade. I mean, James Cook isn't bad. Like, we're not going to call him bad, and it's not a bad downgrade from Kamara, but I would be willing to bet Kamara has put up a little bit more points to call that quite even, my boy. You know what I mean? But, I mean, I like the tight end room for the Ravens. It's not a bad strategy until the bye week. When is the Ravens bye week? Let's pull that up real quick. I hope that doesn't come to get you. Ravens bye week. Let's see what that is. Week 14. You might be in the clear. You might be in the playoffs. That might be the playoff killer right there, bro. Hopefully, cross our fingers. Zach Charbonnet, Xavier Worthy, or Tony Pollard. I'm a Chiefs fan. I'm going Xavier Worthy, man. He's gonna do something big. Drake London or DK Metcalf. I kind of like DK Metcalf's matchup this weekend. Let me double check. Wasn't it the Miami Dolphins going to? I kind of like that matchup. That's going to be a team that doesn't have a whole lot to go for them. I like DK Metcalf. And Drake London is playing the Chiefs today, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Drake London. Yeah. I don't like that matchup for Drake London. He's got good corners and a team that wants to win. Stick with DK Metcalf. I like DK Metcalf probably the most out of those five, by the way. If you're going down to that, I'd probably go DK Metcalf. He's got a great matchup this weekend for a team that's, I mean, let's be honest, without Tua, like they're not gonna be a threat. Like they got a little bit less steam to play for. Like, how hard are you playing this weekend? If you know your team's losing. Not a lot of teams are going to say that in week 3. That's a rare feat. But what game were you guys looking forward to the most? I know Sunday Night Football looks real good. I'm interested in that Chargers-Pittsburgh game. And stuff like that. There's just a bunch of them. Feel like Jalen Ramsey usually locks down him though. Yeah, but is he going to this week? Is he going to this week? I don't. I just don't feel like it. Is he going to go out there and ball this week? It is questionable. I mean, that is a concern, right? And I mean, there's not a. I mean, really, when you look at Seattle, I mean, they got a couple other options to kind of pay attention to. You know, he's not just DK Metcalf they've got. And I mean, his DK Metcalf can be shut down. I just feel like, um, Xavier Worthy is going to run into Atlanta Falcons, who are treating this like it's a Super Bowl. Drake London has to go against that Kansas City secondary, which even though they do not have Snead anymore, is still an underrated secondary. You you've got to worry about if McDuffie's going to sit there on Drake London all day too. And to me, McDuffie's a bigger threat of locking down Drake London than Jalen Ramsey is for DK Metcalf, in my personal opinion. Like, just the talent level is slightly different at this point of careers. Um, both teams, Kansas City and the Falcons, have things to play for, so you enjoy that. And Seattle needs an easy dub. What other? Let me check. How do I like Tony Pollard? Let's see what we're looking at with that. Maybe we can go a different direction. Maybe there's a hidden rock. Maybe there's something. Maybe there's something there. Maybe we can go a different direction. I mean, versus the Packers, that Packers defense is trying everything they can to win a game without Jordan Love. I just don't know. But, I mean, if you're going to win that game as Tennessee, I mean, they're going to give him touches, right? He's going to get 18 touches today. Is that going to be enough? Is 80 yards enough for Tony Pollard for you? I don't know. That feels kind of light. That feels a little light. Let's see. Because I feel Tony Pollard's going to get 80 yards today. And that just doesn't feel. Maybe he gets a touchdown, and that helps. That could help. I don't really like Charbonnet enough. But he is. I mean, do you go the running back if you do shut down DK Metcalf? That's so hard to shut down DK Metcalf in a game you don't think you're going to win. And you're traveling from Miami to Seattle. Give me DK. I'm looking for a safer floor, to be honest. Yeah, I feel you there. Yeah, that feels like a safer floor than Xavier Worthy, right? Like, because Xavier Worthy could be a nothing, and he could be 2 touchdowns, right? Like, let's be honest. But it's still Xavier Worthy is going to be a roll of the dice. Drake London feels a little bit better of a roll of the dice than Xavier Worthy, but I feel like you're still gambling a little bit because he could get shut down. It really could happen. Because if they end up putting McDuffie on him most of the game, it's not even just McDuffie either. Like the secondary for the Chiefs is like the easiest position to hit on. They would take a dude from. I mean, you can look at the history. Like Snead was a nothing, nobody draft pick. I think Shavarius Ward was like a dude off the street. Basically, they turned him into a Pro Bowler. Like they just developed so easily at the cornerback position, and you already seen it with guys like Connor and Watson. I mean, there's guys that are sneaky good that could even shut down Drake London on that Chiefs secondary. And so it makes me question. And let's be honest, that Atlanta Falcons defense could shut down Xavier Worthy. This is their Super Bowl. They're saying it. Like, and that makes you nervous. But that also makes you think Kansas City might dump two on Xavier Worthy real quick, and he just, he's got it in him. He's got that home run in him, and it's hard to bench home runs. I feel like Miami's gonna have a rough game, and I'm a big Miami fan, so it's hard for me to say that. But I just, without Tua, there's nothing there. Like you might get a lot more opportunities because you get turnovers on downs, short drives out of Miami might give you, 2 or 3 more drives for Seattle. Like there's a pretty stacked little teams there though. I like it. I dig it. Good little selections. All right, let's get back into the odds. Let's see if there's anyone that's standing out. Ooh, we got 2 back-to-back. Denver at 4% to beat Tampa Bay. Yeah, I wouldn't bet very much on Denver either. The same odds as Carolina. And a lot of people are questioning which team is worse. I still think Carolina is the worst team out of the both of them, but that's ugly. 30% on the Chargers. 30% on Philly is kind of interesting. I feel like people might be underrating Philly. And what is the line? What are they calling the money line on that? How many points are they? 2.5 points. I think I might put a little sprinkle on the Eagles, even though I think the Saints can win that game. Anytime you start getting real heavy, like this Jacksonville versus Buffalo. Let's look at Jags versus Buffalo real quick. This is a 2% of the public on Jags. And they're calling it a 5.5 point spread in Buffalo. I might sprinkle something on the Jags there too. And I really like this Washington over Cincinnati as well. And they're calling that a 7.5 point. I might take that 7.5 points. People are real high on Cincinnati. What do you think of Brock Bowers or Travis Kelce? I mean, Travis Kelce's got to get on the board eventually, right? Right? Like, geez, it's been real rough. First round talent, number 1 tight end off the board, right? If you want to talk about the safest tight end to pick over the last decade, it has been Travis Kelce. And he's been real underperforming, right? It has not been a good week to pick Travis Kelce at all the last couple of weeks. This could be a show-out game, right? This could be a show-out game. I personally think I've got to go Brock, and I can't believe I'm saying this. Like, I think you have to go Brock Bowers. Like, just because, I mean, let me double check. Who are they playing? The Carolina Panthers. Oh, yeah. You got to go Brock Bowers. Like, Travis Kelce should be the safer pick here, right? Like, it really should be. Like, preseason, the reason you drafted Travis Kelce is because he should be starting this game for you. And knowing this is, like, just because you're going to sit him This is going to be the game. He has 7 for 120 and 3 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what's going to happen here. But with very lackluster performances over the last 2 weeks, let me even pull him up. What is his yardage over the last 2 weeks? Like it can't be. It can't be good. What is it like? It's been real bad. Like, what are you getting? One catch, two catch, one catch, two catch. Is that what we're doing here? Should know his numbers off the top of my head as a Chiefs fan, right? But it's to me, it's got to be it. Ayuk, 8 receptions. Kamara over half touchdown anytime. Devontae Adams over 70 yards. I like that one. Jason Mason over 16 fantasy score. Bryce for 50 yards. I like that one. And Baker over 10.5 rushing. You talking about Baker Mayfield? He's going to have over 10 today? I don't think so. I don't know, maybe. Pick 2, Brian Robinson, Calvin Ridley Jr., J.K. Dobbins. I like J.K. Dobbins today. I think they're going to have to rely on him heavy. And I kind of like Brian Robinson too. Calvin Ridley is too much of a question mark, in my opinion. Let's double check. Let me look at the last 2 weeks and see what we're looking at. Calvin Ridley. How are we looking? Oh, so you're going to get 60 yards out of Calvin Ridley today. Does that feel like enough? Does that feel like enough for the Tennessee Titans? And they have to, against that Packers defense, I don't know if I like Calvin Ridley. Let's check. Brian Robinson. Let's check him. Let's double check. I like the Commanders too, man. Oh, yeah. I think we're going to go Brian Robinson, J.K. Dobbins. Let's do that. Let's get those two. Oh, Ayuk over 8 targets. He might get that today. With as many people as down, let's double check he wasn't on that list. Let's double check that he was not on that list. There's a list of them. The 49ers had a list of them. They said everybody is not playing today. Yeah, let's go ahead. 8, over 8. Man, I guess targets. So he doesn't even have to catch them all. I can see it. They're missing a lot of guys. Kamara, I think he could. I don't know. That Philly team is going to be nasty, man. And I kind of like nobody's betting Philly. That makes me nervous. I mean, Kamara could still score, right? And he's been a monster this year. I talk shit on Kamara preseason, and it is not turning out very well for me, folks. It did not work very well. It was not the right cup of tea. And I can't believe I picked Brock Bowers over Travis Kelce. But I mean, he's got such an easy matchup today. Oh, Travis, man, he needs to get back on it. Did I even ever look up his numbers? I don't think I did. I want to see what we're looking at with Mr. Swift. I mean, Travis Kelce, whatever they're calling him today. You know, the fans got to make up all kinds of stories. What's real interesting about the Taylor Swift thing is knowing the Kansas City Chiefs don't show her in the stadium, and they don't play any of our music, but the NFL likes to blame the Chiefs for it. Like it's crazy. It's kind of crazy to think about. Yeah, 5 yards last week, 34 yards the week before, bringing a total of 39 on the season. This could be his breakout game. It really could. It's hard to bet against him, man. But I feel like the safer of the two right now has got to be Brock Bowers, especially going against Carolina. Like, that's just a nice way to go. Real nice way to go. Let's take another look at these betting odds. Somehow, some way, we still have 19% of the public betting Miami versus Seattle, which seems real interesting. Only 8% is picking the Rams to win over San Francisco. But they had a lot of guys out. I like this Detroit versus Arizona. That one's got upset potential. It's down in Arizona. They're giving Arizona a 3-point spread, basically saying the Lions should win by 6. But an over-under of 51.5. That one's real tough. That one's tough. That one makes me kind of like I'm going to have to put an asterisk by that one because I'm picking the Lions to win. But I think I might just throw a little bet on the Cardinals after this show. Just because, man, that's got upset potential. The Cardinals are a high-scoring offense this year. It's crazy to say that out loud. It is wild to say that out loud. That is not a statement we should be making out loud. And let's be honest, folks. It is crazy to say that about the Arizona Cardinals. I want to watch that game. I think that's going to be the 425 game to watch. The Monday Night Football games are kind of questionable. That Jags versus Bills got potential. Kind of want to see that one. They're both saying it's both just lane sides. Goff or Daniels at quarterback. Tank Dell or Waddle at wide receiver. I like Goff and I like Tank Dell. I think it's going to be a shootout down in the desert with the Lions. The over-under is 51 in that game, and I think that might be the highest of the week. I'll put it to you that way. The over-under is the highest of the week in that Arizona versus Detroit Lions game. Definitely give me Goff and give me Dell at wide receiver. Like that, Waddle without Tua is rough, man. That is real rough. Like if it was Tua there, we might be having a conversation with Waddle. I still like Tank Dell better, but Waddle could be a serious threat. Without my boy Tua, I just don't know it. And you're welcome. Yeah, that Goff one, that's a nice one to have this week. And congratulations on having Jared Goff, because I told people that would be one of the steals of the NFL fantasy drafts this year. You're gonna have 10 other quarterbacks go off the list before you got to take them, and you're gonna get top tier performances out of the boy. You're gonna get 250, 2.5 touchdowns. You know what I mean? Flip a coin if it's 2 or 3 at the end of the week. You know what I mean? I like that move. Good selection. I like Daniels too. Look, and with fantasy, we might need to circle that one because I do kind of got that one as a possibility. That might be a possibility, but I still like Goff just because that's got the highest over-under of the week. And even with that, that's the Commanders Bengals is right there by it too. It's not far off. Like it's not too far away. But I think it's going to be a shootout down in the desert. I would actually bet the over of the 51 and a half points in the Lions versus Cardinals games as it is. Like both of those offenses are shoot them out today. I like that game. I think I might skip red zone just for it. That might be the one. What games are you guys looking forward to? What are we watching today, folks? What's got you on the TV going? Yep, this is my game to win. And which team? What is your team? Is your team winning today? Let's talk about that for a moment. I'm looking for teams. I want to give you your win or loss. I want to let you know. You got to talk me into it. Last Saturday, someone tried to talk me into the Raiders over the Ravens. I couldn't hear it. I was unfazed, as the username is. I was saying it's not a possibility. I'm not scared. I'm not there. And sure enough, bam, it was right there. Fun times. Fun times. So I'm real interested to see if you can talk me into your team winning today. Is it a possibility? I've got questions. I've got questions all around. But I think I'm going to go down the list one more time real quick. I do have the Cleveland Browns over the Giants. I'm going to go Tennessee over Green Bay. Chicago over Indy. Houston over Minnesota. That one's got some potential. That's going to be a good game. New Orleans versus Philly. Another good game. And I'm going to go New Orleans. I think I'm going with the public on that one. That one scares me going with the public. Being 2.5. Eagles are 2.5 point favorites on the road. Eagles are going to win that game. Eagles are going to beat the Saints. Yeah, let's get this fixed. Eagles are going to beat the Saints. The Vikings might beat the Texans. 1.5 point favorites at home. That one's iffy. I'm going to go Texans. I'm going to stick with the Texans on that one. Chargers. 30% of the public still believing in the Chargers. Steelers, only 3-point favorites at home. I'm still going Steelers. Especially with questions with Herbert. Let's go Bucks over Buccaneers over Broncos. 6-point favorites for the Buccaneers. Only 4% of the public betting the Broncos. Crazy to think about. Let's go Raiders over the Panthers. Panthers can't win nothing. Even with Andy Dalton, it don't make a difference. Gives them a little bit better chance, I think, but not by much. Not much. Dolphins versus Seahawks. Let's go Seahawks. No Tua. No care. Surprisingly, only a 4-point line there. Ravens versus Cowboys. I'm actually going to go Cowboys. Lamar Jackson has never lost 3 at home or 3 in a row. Only 38% of the public betting Cowboys, making me feel better about that Cowboys pick. 49ers absolutely destroying it with only 8% of the public going with the Rams. I'm still going to go with the 49ers. Both teams missing a bunch of guys. Lions versus Cardinals. I think the Cardinals are going to win that game. They're going to mess around and win that game. The Chiefs are going to beat the Falcons. Only 13% of the public betting the Falcons. That makes you nervous. only 3-point dogs at home for the Falcons, which is really calling it 6. And we have the Jags versus the Bills. Only 2% are believers in the Jags. Let's go, Jags. You know we hate the Bills. And Commanders versus Bengals. I'm going with the upset of the Commanders. Upset of the week. Commanders over Bengals. That feels like a risky one. Take the points. Like, just take the points. That way it's close. I can at least told you so. Well, folks, I appreciate you popping in. It's been a fun day, Sunday preview show. And I hope y'all enjoy your little fantasy football weekend and enjoy the picks for the week.